Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some player props I like on Prizepicks for NFL this week for the Sunday slate for Week 8. We do have, I think, 11 games on Sunday, or maybe 12 games when you count Sunday Night Football. I got 3 picks that I'm going to give out in this video, guys, that I do like for the Sunday slate. Now, before we get started talking through the picks I like for NFL this week, as always, guys, hit that like button down below if you do enjoy these Prizepicks videos and if they do help you out. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And also, if you are new to Prizepicks, make sure to check them out and sign up with promo code NOAH. When you do sign up with my promo code, Prizepicks will match your first deposit up to $100. And also, if you guys enjoy the YouTube videos that I provide, the free picks I give out, I do give out additional plays over on Patreon. So if you want more Prizepicks plays from me, besides the picks I give out on YouTube, have a Patreon link down below in the description where I do provide additional Prizepicks plays. I also have a Discord chat that's available for Patreon members. I do also give out DFS content for Patreon members. So if you play DFS on DraftKings or if you play on Yahoo, I provide content for both of those sites. I give out player pools, core plays for the DFS slates. I'll have some DFS content for NFL this week if you're playing DraftKings NFL DFS. So check out the Patreon, link down below in the description to get more Prizepicks plays from me and some additional DFS content as well if you do play DFS. But let's talk through our 3 picks for Sunday, guys. Got 3 picks I'm going to give out in this video. Normally, that's usually what I give out for the NFL slate. I'll definitely have some more NFL picks. Those will be posted on Patreon. Probably either sometime on Saturday night or Sunday morning is when I'll post. Probably a couple more NFL picks. It'll depend on how much I can find that I like. But for this video, we're going to talk about 3 plays. We're going to start off in the receiving yards category. And we're going to go to a guy that, man, has been super, super frustrating this season. He has really done nothing. He's had like one good game this year, and his receiving yard prop is really, really low this week. You guys probably know who I'm about to talk about. It's Kyle Pitts, 34.5 receiving yards. I'm taking Kyle Pitts to go over 34.5 receiving yards. And any Kyle Pitts fans out there, or maybe some Falcons fans, I mean, you're probably throwing up right now because I understand Kyle Pitts has not been good this season. He's basically been like the Ben Simmons of the NBA. He just has not performed that well. He's definitely not lived up to expectations. I don't know if that's all due to him or if it's due to maybe this Falcons offense. Like maybe if Kyle Pitts was in a different offense, he'd be putting up some better numbers. But I think Kyle Pitts is still a very talented tight end. He's obviously young. He's athletic. He's a guy that has a lot of quickness. He can line up as a wide receiver. Like he should be averaging more than 30 yards per game over the last 5 games. It's actually crazy to see how bad his numbers have been this season. But 34.5 receiving yards. I mean, this is a line that Kyle Pitts can definitely go over. Now he's only gone over this in 1 out of their 6 games this season. But I was looking at his odds right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. They do have his line set at 33.5, but with minus 140 on the over. So pretty heavy juice coming in on the over, 33.5 yards for Kyle Pitts. Obviously, 1 yard difference on Prizepicks, but I'm still fine taking the over here. When you look at Kyle Pitts' involvement, like he's still getting involved. The Falcons, they're not a team that's really going to throw the ball a ton. They do kind of want to run the ball a lot. They're going to establish the run as much as they can. But so far this season, Kyle Pitts does have the second highest target share on the team. 21% target share, second highest on the team. He's averaging 6 targets per game. He's probably going to see at least like 5 to 6 targets here, maybe 7, maybe 8 targets. I mean, 3 catches for 35 yards. Like that's literally all we need from Kyle Pitts, and I think he can give us that. So far this season, he does have a 12.8 ADOT, so his average depth of target is 12.8 yards. Basically, when he gets targeted, it's usually around anywhere from like 10 to 12 yards down the field. So he will run some deeper routes, some vertical routes. It's not like he's running these drag routes where he has to catch the ball and then make guys miss. Like he could get 35 yards on 1 catch. Is it likely? Probably not, but he could definitely do it. I think one of these games, it might have been the game against Seattle. I think he did have a pretty long catch that game. But 35 yards is just, man, it's such a low line for Kyle Pitts. I know he's been terrible this season. If you guys, if you don't feel good about this play, honestly, I understand. But the odds are good on this one. I think Kyle Pitts can get us 35 yards this week. Not saying that he's going to have a big game, but I think 6 or 7 targets, 3 catches, 35 yards. That's literally all that we need. And I think volume will definitely be there. Even if Marcus Mariota only throws the ball 20 times this week, there's a good chance you're getting 6 or 7 targets for Kyle Pitts. So that's what I like as our first play for today. And then second play, we're going to go to the fantasy score category. Got a fantasy score prop that I do like. Going to talk about the Cowboys. And this week, Ezekiel Elliott is doubtful. He's not expected to play. So Tony Pollard going to be starting, at running back for the Cowboys. And 16 fantasy points, I like Tony Pollard to go over this number. Tony Pollard, obviously, when you look at his game log, he's not gone over this number in any games this season. At least I don't believe that he has. Let me see real quick. Obviously, last 5 games he hasn't gone over yet. I don't think he's gone over this in any games this season. Maybe actually their second game of the season against the Bengals, he did have more than 16 fantasy points. But you can't even look at like his game log this year because obviously he's been splitting time with Ezekiel Elliott. Well, now that Zeke is out, it's going to be Tony Pollard just getting all the opportunity for the Cowboys. Like, I don't even know who the Cowboys have behind Pollard. I don't think they really have much of anyone. I'm going to pull up their depth chart real quick. But their other running backs are basically, I literally don't know who they have. They're going to have to, call guys up from the practice squad. It's going to be Tony Pollard getting a large majority of the touches, a large majority of the volume. We do have a one-game sample where Tony Pollard did play without Ezekiel Elliott. It was back in 2020 against the 49ers, December 20th. They played the 49ers, and Tony Pollard had 31.2 fantasy points. He had 12 carries for 69 yards, and he had 2 rushing touchdowns. He also had 9 targets, 6 catches for 63 yards. So Pollard had 18 touches in the one game that he played without Ezekiel Elliott. Got 12 carries, saw 9 targets. Pollard is a guy that can catch passes. He's really good in the passing game. I think he's going to get all the goal line work if the Cowboys ever get in any goal line situations. Normally it would be Zeke punching it in. If they get into the goal line, obviously it'll be Pollard this week because Pollard is their only healthy running back that they really trust. There's a good chance he plays 80-85% of the snaps, gets 20 plus touches. We know Pollard is an explosive running back. He can catch passes. He has a good chance to score a touchdown too. 16 fantasy points. I think there's a lot of ways that Pollard could go over this. He could catch 6 or 7 passes, with fantasy score being full PPR. Obviously, getting those receptions is huge. He could have a really efficient running game. He could run for 80, 90 yards, and I wouldn't be surprised. I know the Bears have actually been pretty bad against the run this season. So far in terms of rushing yards allowed, 784 rushing yards allowed to opposing running backs, which is 7th most in the league. So I think it's a pretty good matchup for Pollard. They've also allowed over 20 fantasy points per game to opposing running backs, which is 6th most in the league. So it's a good matchup. The Cowboys have a pretty high team total this week. They're expected to put up points. They're fully healthy now. They have Dak back at quarterback. I think the Cowboys are going to put up some points this week. I think Pollard's going to have a really big workload. He's a very good running back. He's really explosive. Hopefully I don't insult any Cowboys fans here, but I'll just go ahead and say it. Tony Pollard is miles better than Ezekiel Elliott. If I was a Cowboys fan, I would be asking for Zeke to get traded and just let Pollard be the workhorse because Pollard is just so much better than Zeke. He's quicker, faster, he's more explosive. And obviously, you're going to be able to see it this weekend or this, Sunday. Hopefully Pollard has a big game. He had a big game last time Zeke was out. I think there's a good chance he could have another big game this week. So 16 fantasy points. I'm going to be taking Pollard to have more than that this week on Sunday. And then the final pick that we're going to talk about is going to be a reception prop. I'm going to go to the afternoon games, the late afternoon games, talk about George Kittle, 4.5 receptions. Like George Kittle to go over this number, to have more than 4.5 receptions. So one thing we need to know is that the 49ers are going to be without Deebo Samuel this week, which is actually pretty big. I don't think Deebo Samuel has missed a game this season, but we do have a sample of Deebo Samuel playing some games that Deebo Samuel has missed. Last 2 games that Kittle has played, I think Kittle did play 2 games last season without Deebo Samuel. In those 2 games, Kittle saw 9 targets, had 7 catches, and then he had another game he saw 12 targets, had 9 catches. So volume's definitely been there in the games that Deebo has missed. And when you look at Kittle's involvement, he's really been much more involved these last few weeks. To start the season, Kittle wasn't really involved a ton. His targets were not great. First 2 games of the season, he only saw 5 and 4 targets. But their last 3 games, 6, 10, and 9 targets for Kittle, and obviously 5, 8, and 6 receptions. Now, the matchup this week against the Rams is not the best. The Rams have been pretty good against the tight end position. They've actually been one of the best teams defensively against the tight end. But I'm really going to bank on volume here. Obviously, the 49ers are a team that wants to run the ball a ton. They have Christian McCaffrey now, so I'm sure they'll be able to run the ball with CMC as much as they want. But they're probably going to be forced to throw the ball a little bit here. I wouldn't be surprised if you do see the Rams kind of playing with the lead in this game. I don't know. I think the spread right now, I think the Rams are slight favorites in this game. I want to pull up the spread real quick. So the Rams are... Yeah, right now the Rams are 4.5 point favorites here at home. So this could definitely be a game where maybe the 49ers get behind, maybe they're forced to throw. Kittle's going to get the volume. I expect him and Brandon Ayuk to be the 2 guys that see the most targets on this 49ers offense. And Kittle's had at least 5 catches now in 3 straight games. Now you factor in no Deebo Samuel this week. That takes one of their top targets away. I'm pretty sure Deebo Samuel does lead the team in target share this season. So obviously not having Deebo out there's going to be a lot of targets available for everyone pretty much. I expect Kittle to be one of the guys that really soaks up those targets. So yeah, 5 receptions. I think Kittle can get us 5 catches here. He's been more involved lately, and now Deebo's out as well. And I do want to mention that right now on DraftKings Sportsbook, Kittle's odds are pretty solid. On DK Sportsbook, his reception prop is set at 4.5, but there is minus 135 on the over. So minus 135 on the over, 4.5 receptions for Kittle. Maybe this line gets bumped up to 5. I would doubt it, but it might, since there is some juice coming in on that over. Definitely wanted to go ahead and get this in, beforehand. If by some chance it does get bumped. So this is what I'll be playing for Sunday, guys. This is at least 3 kind of picks I like. I'm making this video on Friday night. I will take a look at the NFL board once again, probably on Saturday night, sometime Saturday night or either Sunday morning. I'll be posting some more NFL props over on Prizepicks, or on Patreon. If you guys want to check those out, I do provide additional Prizepicks plays over on Patreon. I'll probably have some NBA plays posted this weekend as well. We've been doing really well with our NBA plays on the YouTube channel. Patreon plays have definitely not been doing as well, I will admit, but on YouTube, we've been giving out some free picks for NBA. Been doing really well with those. Hopefully, you guys have been telling the NBA picks I've been giving out on YouTube. And obviously, you want to do well with these NFL picks. Hopefully, we can cash out, get all 3 of these picks right. But best of luck this week, guys. As always, I appreciate you watching these videos. Hit that like button if you did enjoy. Hit that subscribe button as well. Also, if you have not checked out Prizepicks yet, make sure to sign up with promo code NOAH. When you do sign up with my promo code Prizepicks, they will match your first deposit up to $100 when you sign up with my promo code. But best of luck this week, guys. Thanks for watching the video. As always, hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next one.